All right. So it's got a topic we're going to talk about. So the other day you mentioned something to me that I thought was awesome because
actions and excuses, or no, not actions, actions and excuses. Excuses and reasons is what we're talking about today.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. And, I just want to preface with the other day we were talking, everybody's got an excuse. You know?
Everyone's got an excuse. And usually it's valid though, because it's a reason.
Well, but then that's what makes it valid is when people are like, well, I have a reason.
And that's the problem because everyone's reason is also an excuse, but they don't realize it's an excuse.
I think that a fucking reason is worse than an excuse because you've superseded it's a problem to like it's fact.
Yeah, you've made it where it's you can't change it.
Nope,
almost.
End all be all.
Oh yeah, but I got this or
it's
this or this.
Good reason why I can't do it.
Yeah, and people spew them without you even asking them. You ask them something, and they're like, "Oh, this or this or this." We got to give them an example. Let's give an example.
Okay. All right. So remember when we had that young kid that was talking shit about you doing your squats?
Yep.
And I said, bro, you don't get to come over here and talk shit when you've never done this before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
this kid came over while I was doing 225 for 100 reps, 5 sets of 20. And he's like, don't be a pussy. Do that shit.
And you're literally like on rep 90.
Yeah.
Like this is like the end of it where you're falling apart. And that's the point. No, and if you're getting through 100 reps of your squat without falling apart, then you didn't go heavy enough. So anyway, this is what's happening, and I had to jump on his ass because he's young. He don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, he's just talking shit. Honestly, he just wanted to say something. And he didn't know what to say.
Yeah, and it just didn't fit because I'm like, bro, you have to earn that shit. You know what I mean? So I gave him the opportunity. I said, okay, so don't worry. I said, come next week, you're going to be able to pay your dues, so then you can talk a little shit. Put your money where your mouth is. So if you're going to talk shit on my boy, then you got to go through this so you can be worthy of talking shit.
Yep.
And he was like, oh, dude, remember he was like totally
my toe, dude, you wouldn't believe, he goes, you wouldn't believe this. I have a reason that I can't do it.
Okay.
My toe, I had the nail taken off yesterday or something like that.
Well, yeah, he definitely had this whole thing. He had a whole week to figure out an excuse why he wasn't going to do it. I figured he'd want to do it. I mean, we're the older guys crushing it in the gym. Like me personally, when I was a young guy, I was down to train with the older guys. I was like the young kid that like, I'll do anything to try to earn my spot with the older guys because that's what I want to do. And I think they're cool.
He was using everything he could to get out of it.
But he was trying to get out of it. And then he kept saying, I said, okay, bro. I said, you ready to go? It's leg day. I said, ready to go? He's like, oh, I'm doing shoulders. I'm like, no, I told you a week ago we're going to be doing this day. I've been telling you every day in the gym. So he says, yeah, man, but I can't, because I have a reason.
He actually did say that.
And that's what he said.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, yeah, what's your reason? And then he says, oh, I just hurt my toe or some shit. And he was telling us all about it, dude. And then I said, like, okay, well, how's your vagina feel?
What did he say?
He was just like, whoa. I'm like, look, dude. He didn't really have anything to say. I said, look, dude. I said, you're not going to die doing this. I said, this is your opportunity to get on the path to fucking manhood.
Yep.
I said, this is not me trying to put you down. This is me making you better. This is your fucking moment, bro. Like, let's go. And then guess what?
He did it.
And he kicked ass, remember?
Yeah.
Wish we had it on video.
Yeah. Would have been good. We were going to video it, but we missed out on it.
He actually ended up doing another 36 reps with 95 pounds at the end. Remember?
Oh, yeah. He went more than 100 reps.
That was because of David, though. Because David.
The other kid that we were with, he was repping it out. So he wanted to show him off.
Yeah. When you guys meet David at some point, man, this kid is like the most unlikely
candidate
to be a workout partner on our team, but he just tries so hard. It's a ton of value there. And I've never once heard him say, I can't, it's too hard, it's too heavy. He just tries it.
Yeah, he doesn't say, he never has an excuse. That's a kid that has no excuses and lots of reasons. And that's the point of this topic, excuses and reasons, and how they are perfectly equal in their own way, but it depends on how you use them. The person that doesn't do nothing, they're always giving you their reasons they can't do it. And it's also an excuse without them realizing it. To them, they think it's a reason, but really it's an excuse. And that's the point of this topic.
Yeah, they're excuses and they suck. It was great to see those two kids train together at the squat rack.
Yeah, they're going at it.
So we were doing sets of 20 to get to 100. And it was me and Judah on one squat rack. And then we had David and Chris on the other one. And it was so great because on one hand, you got Chris, he's in pretty good shape. he's pretty muscular little guy. You know what I mean? Young, looks pretty good. David
Get it together.
He's come light years, but if you looked at him, you'd be like, you can't really tell he's been hitting the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Doesn't look like he's in the gym.
But when you saw their work ethic, David, the one that you might not look how he, look as good as Chris right now, the kid has no quit. That's what we like about him.
Yeah, I've never heard him say, I'm done, or I can't, or like, let's move on, or nothing. He just keeps going.
Even when we give him homework and we're like, all right, you better run a mile today.
Yeah.
You better do 50 push-ups. And we ask him, he's like, yeah, I ran one, and I walked one, but then I ran a second one, all the time. Like, and if you look at him, he's making all these changes. So that's like what this little topic is about. Like, everyone can make up an excuse or really dress up their excuse and call it a fucking reason. But what about the guy that just doesn't make excuses, doesn't have a reason to quit, a reason they can't do something?
And the purpose of saying excuses and reasons are the same thing. It's because whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're focused on, you're going to have a reason why you can't do it. You'd always come up with a reason, always, no matter what you want to do in life. But also, it's an excuse, and people need to stop saying that shit and just realize that it's an excuse and just admit it's an excuse.
Yeah. I think what it is like, at the end of the day, it's like these excuses that turn into reasons are this barrier they're using to not work
or do what they know they need to do, or what they want to do, or whatever is on their mind.
All that's going to be work. It's like literally an excuse to get out of work, because anyone that's done something great, work is like your middle fucking name.
Yeah.
Nobody did something great without working
And
hard.
the difference between the guy that did something great is he had every reason to probably not do it, but he didn't look at them as reasons. He just
exactly. Instead,
made it happen.
Instead,
there's a guy that makes it happen, a guy that doesn't make it happen.
Instead, he convinced himself, I know I can. Here's my reason why. So his excuse was disappeared, and his reason became a reason like why I can.
Versus, you can flip it.
Yeah.
You need to flip it.
That's why reasons are powerful. So like you can, it's excuses and reasons. It's like if you have an excuse and you turn that into a reason, oh fuck, good luck getting out of that. But if you have a goal and you turn it into a reason, it's powerful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because when, the big thing I always tell people, I've coached people for years. Okay. Anytime you're trying to get somebody in shape, it gets really difficult at some point. It starts off, everybody's hyped up, but
they come in hot.
Yeah. And then 4 weeks into it, 6 weeks into it.
Damn, man.
It's starting to get tough, Your reason why is what keeps you going.
Yeah. Why you're doing that's everything in life. Why are you doing what you're doing?
Yeah. What's your why?
Yeah.
What is your why? If you don't have that, it's how can you be passionate? Because passion is like literally directed and linked to your why. Like when somebody's passionate about something, it's not even like work to them. And then those are the people that succeed. Like even though it's a ton of work and that person that's passionate is working twice as hard as everybody else, that's where success is on the other side of that.
You got to be passionate about whatever you're doing in some little way. I mean, you don't got to be passionate about everything, but it definitely helps when you have a big reason what you're doing. Mm-hmm. It has to stem from something.
Yeah, man. It's funny, you and me, man, we work together really well because we don't make excuses.
Yeah, you'll never hear me I don't know. I feel like I don't do that.
You don't do that.
And if I do,
if you did do that, I won't fucking hang out with you.
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
a fucking sissy.
And if I am, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm bitching out right now. I got to do this. Like I'm honest about it at least. Yeah. The worst people are the people that don't accept that, okay, I'm just being a bitch. Like they're like, like this or that. Yeah. It's like, dude, just admit that you're just bitching out and that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. And the reason you don't have what you say you want is because you're not willing to do what you need to do.
Yeah, that's without a doubt. Yeah, when we get some guests on here in the future, we're going to have to ask them about reasons and excuses, ask them what they think about that and what excuses they had that they told themselves it was a reason, but they pushed past it or whatever it is, because that's an interesting topic.
Yeah, I look forward to having guests on here, people with success stories.
Yep.
Because
that's the idea behind this. The Monarch podcast is about people that grew from whatever they once were and became something great. So I'm excited to see who we can get on here.
Yeah, we're trying to find butterflies that used to be caterpillars.
Those stories, I mean, everyone loves those stories.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like people that have a story, an origin story, it's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Those are the people where you learn shit, where you hear shit and it motivates you because you're like, whoa, I had no idea that motherfucker had it like that before he started.
Yeah. Complete transformation. Yeah. People like that. Where you look at them before or you hear about what they're doing before and you're like, what?
I mean, I'm going to put it out there. I feel like our boy David's been training with us.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a huge success story.
I mean, I hope so. I mean, it's only been like a month, so there's there's a hard road ahead of him, but if he keeps up what he's doing this past month, he's definitely going to be a different person in 6 months.
What I see with him is he has an incredible amount of accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah, his accountability is there's a value there. I mean, we tell him to do something, he does it.
Yeah, that's very rare. There's a lot of people that they don't hit you up after you tell them to do something. It just ends there.
Dude,
almost every person I've ever talked to, like, go do this, and then you just don't hear from them because it didn't work out.
Yeah, he really makes me smile when I think about him, because you guys eventually are going to meet him at some point. We're going to get him on our stuff, and you see him on my stories a little bit and on my Instagram. But he's just a great example of how, if you're focused on adding value, no matter where you're starting, what you have as resources, and your attitude is really good, there's value with you. And the right people will recognize your value.
Yeah.
Did you see that video where they were it was a video about a guy that gave this old car to his son, and it was dusty.
Oh dirty. Yeah, and I think it was his daughter, and he said bring it to a father gave his daughter his old car and said bring it here to get it appraised, and you can sell it and keep whatever you got from it.
Well, he said bring it to 3 different people.
3 different places. Yeah, the first person they thought it was junk.
Yeah, it's junk.
And then the second person said I'll give you $1,000 for it. And then the third person was like, oh my gosh, this is a collector's, and this thing's worth $1 million. Mm-hmm. And the point of the story is your value doesn't lie in what someone sees in you. It lies in, who values you. The right person everyone values things different.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. Put yourself around people that are going to see you as a value.
Yeah.
And if you're not around people that see you as a value, then you're in the wrong spot. You're in the wrong circle, and it's so true. So
depends if you're actually a value though. A lot of people, they might read that and they're like, oh, I'm just in the wrong circle, but really maybe they're just not.
Yeah. If you're reading that or whatever, and you're looking at it as a fucking excuse or a reason.
Yeah.
Why you're not doing well. Just turn off this fucking.
I feel like there's a lot of quotes and a lot of inspirational stuff that people, the wrong person can pull from it and be like, this is me. And it's not them, they took the wrong quote the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people are just kind of scrolling through life.
Yeah.
Nowadays, looking for reasons to feel good about their poor choices.
Yeah. You guys need to get off your phones unless you're putting out content. That's another thing. It's crazy. I couldn't imagine being on my phone and not seeing it as some sort of a, job. And I'm putting stuff out there. I'm not just consuming all day.
Yeah, if I didn't make a living at this, I'm not going to just be glued to my phone all day.
Yeah.
I'm still not glued to my phone. Literally everything I'm doing is I'm trying to add value to other people, and I'm trying to see if it's working. It's literally what I'm trying to do, because if you think about guys that are into fitness, there's a lot of great physiques out there, even women. There's a lot of great physiques out there, but usually the route most people go and this is early in your fitness career, oh, wow, I'm in such great shape. People can use me to model their stuff, and you feel like that's how you're going to add value. Well, at the end of the day, you're not super valuable that way. Maybe you are to a company or to whatever, but when you can shift gears and think, how can I just start adding value to everyone I meet?
Yeah.
Then you start to realize wow, people keep asking me these same type of questions, about nutrition. Maybe I should write a book about it. People ask me the same things about type of workouts. Maybe I should make some workouts. And then once you see that and you're like, okay, well, I'm having all this success. I've been doing it for all these years. Then you got to think to yourself, how can I reach more people with what I know works? And I think if a lot of people in the fitness industry would just focus on that, they could figure out that adding value is what's going to allow them to have a career and actually make money and be valuable.
Definitely. Also, I think a lot of people are waiting for the parade to come for them, which isn't coming. You got to create your own parade.
So good.
You know what I mean? You're saying now I look good. Someone might come and pimp me out now. You know what I mean? They come pay me to be a part of what they're doing, when really you should be creating your own empire, your own people, and creating your own.
You know what?
Setup.
You know what? You're right. There was a part of me when I was competing that was I'm going to win this show, and then it's just going to be awesome. I'm going to have people calling me to sign me and, put me on front line with their products and rep all this stuff and make all this money, like a parade.
Yeah.
But you know what? A parade can come for a couple people. I don't even know if it does come for them, really. At the end of the day,
they probably created it themselves.
You did create everything yourself, but I don't want people to get caught up in this fairy tale fantasy. Once I do this thing, my life is set. Every day is day one.
Yeah. Every day is day one, no matter what you did yesterday. The worst is it has been. I did this, or I used to do this, or I used to be in shape, or I used to be skinny, or I used to have money. No one, dude. Not that those things are all. I used to have a great wife. I used to have.
Yeah, that's like people missing teeth. I used to have all my teeth.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, well, you don't now, motherfucker. I mean,
Yeah, don't be a has-been.
What the fuck have you been doing?
Yeah.
Holy shit, you know?
I had a guy. He was like, he came up to me. He's like, yeah, man, I used to be in shape. I was like, well, but listen, man, I'm not trying to be talking to no has-beens. I was like, the only thing that matters is today and tomorrow. So we got to get it together. And he's like, oh, I'm not a has-been. I'm not a has-been. I was just saying. I'm like, well, that was a has-been statement. You're telling me about
his textbook.
Like, yeah, it's like the textbook. And he like kind of snapped out of me, realized like, oh. I was funny. Being like that.
Hey, you're funny. Sometimes you say shit like that to people right away, and they're like, you know,
caught him off guard a little bit, but
you know,
it's only will help him.
Yeah,
someone's got to tell him.
Yeah. That's why I tell people not to be a fucking sissy.
Yep.
Don't be a fucking sissy.
Yeah, get it together. But excuses and reasons, how they're linked.
They're the same, folks.
Identical. So that's the point of this conversation.
I think you're almost better off saying I have an excuse than saying I have a reason.
I mean, I think you'll be more respected. Here's my excuse.
This is my excuse.
Yeah.
Because then you're taking some kind of accountability.
Accountability, that's an excuse.
You remove the accountability with the reason.
Because you're saying it's a real reason.
And so now it's out of your hands.
Yep. It's not my fault. It's a reason.
Not my fault.
What am I supposed to do?
I have a reason why I'm fat. I'm lazy. I'm unsuccessful.
I'm not where I want to be.
Miserable in my relationships.
Or I can't do this. But people have these reasons. Like, they have to. That's the only way you can justify, oh, this or this or this.
It's weird. Don't be like that. You know, like, we're all going to be good at a few things, and then everything else that we want to be good at is going to be hard. Even the things we're good at, it's hard. But because when you're good at things, it doesn't seem as hard.
Yeah, it's easier. It comes natural.
You know what I mean? It's like, for instance, fitness comes a little easier to me, even though it's a ton of hard work.
Yeah.
I've spent a million different hours, weeks, months, years, trying to figure out ways to make it easier and a lifestyle and things like that. But because of that, I've neglected other areas of my life on being able to like market and sell, negotiate, things like that. Those are things that you're good at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You neglected those. You felt like you didn't.
Well,
you're focused on them.
Yeah. And for whatever reason, you just tend to go with these set of skills. But then once you become rounded, you've had to work on all these things that are more difficult. And so you'll never be able to be rounded and good at these things that were difficult if you got an excuse that turns into a fucking reason.
Yeah. It's easy to do it too.
Yeah.
I'll catch myself doing it, but I know instantly. I'm like, nope. Like, I catch it instantly.
Yeah. It's funny. Like, I don't know about you, but like whenever I have like that lazy thought, they come into your mind, different things.
They infiltrate.
Yeah. I literally have like the lazy thought that comes in that sounds so soothing and comfortable in my mind. And then there's like this big, jacked up, angry version of myself sitting over there going, fuck you, sissy. You shut the fuck up. We got shit to do. Better get your ass up. Get moving. What are you going to do? Just fucking not let it happen? You're just going to fucking like, put it off? Go ahead, put it off. Put it off. You want to be broke? You want to look like shit?
Want to be a loser?
And then I'm like in the middle in my head going, all right, yeah, you're right.
You got to get this together. Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Yeah. So it's like a little conversation I have,
Yeah, it's like the angel and devil on your shoulder going back and forth.
It's a thing, dude.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
It is, for sure. I do the same thing. I'll be sitting there for a second, I'll be like, that kicks in. I'm like, oh, gotta go.
Yeah. The fucking voice that is the hardest to negotiate is that voice that's chirping in my ear when we're doing those sets of 20 on squats.
That's when you guarantee it'll show up then. Yeah, you're like, oh.
You just want to be done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you have to fight through that shit. Fight through that shit,
Made it to the other side. Yeah. Well, it's a battle, but don't make your excuses and reasons the same. Yeah. Disregard them. If it's a real reason, okay, you're good, but make sure you double check that shit. Make sure you ain't making excuses.
I think that's a wrap on this topic.
Yeah, I think that was solid.
All right. Eat right, train hard, stay focused. Don't be a sissy.